And there's an invitation that's available to every single person today, and it is God's investment invitation. But before we get to that, I want to challenge you with something pretty big. Are you ready? Nod at me if you're ready. I can see you. Perfect. My challenge to you is stop spending. And you're like, oh, dang it. I knew she was going to say that. Like, we're going to talk about money. You're saying I can't spend my money. Let me explain. I want you to think about every single dime that you have, every single dime that you spend as an investment opportunity. Because investing is intentional spending. We are not going to spend willy-nilly. We're not going to just like, oh, okay, sure, sounds like a good idea. We are going to be conscious and make a decision that we want to make with our money. We are going to invest in everything we do. So you might choose to invest in, say, your rent because, you don't want to get kicked out and you want a safe place for your kids to live. So you're going to invest in rent money. Cool. You might invest in some tacos after service because tacos, like you love tacos, right? We're going to invest in a lot of different things, but we're going to do it with intention. We're not just going to spend without thinking about it. We are going to invest. So everyone say, invest. Thank you. You are awake. But before we invest, before we spend a dime, our change must be blessed. Before we invest, our change must be blessed. What do you mean, Leah? How does my change get blessed? Let me tell you. There's a principle found in Scripture that tells us if we follow it, your money will be blessed. And it's called the principle of the first fruits. The principle of the first fruits says that the first 10% of everything you own does not belong to you. It actually belongs to the Lord. So the first 10% of everything you have isn't yours, it's God's. Exodus 23:19 says, the best of the first fruits of your ground you shall bring into the house of the Lord your God. What is the house of the Lord your God? It's your church. It's your local church. Now, most Scripture actually refers to bring your crop, the first 10% of your crop, the first 10% of your produce, the first 10% or the first animal of your flock and all the other animal groups. The first. Now, this was the resource that was available to people in the day. We don't have as many farmers today. We have some. My father-in-law is a farmer. But for most of us, that's not how we get things we need, by trading our grain and our animals and things like that. What do we have? Money. We have wages. We work for money. And thank goodness, because I can't even keep my houseplants alive. It would be devastating if I had to try to bring something to the house of the Lord every week. It would die. And it would also be a total mess. Think about it, bringing, here's the first 10% of my grain. I don't even know what we do with that. Okay. So we bring the first 10%, not of our crops anymore. We bring the first 10% of our money back to God through the local church. That is called the principle of the first fruits. We also call it week in and week out the tithe. Now let me tell you a little bit about tithe. This is actually God's best design to produce blessing in your life. Putty shared a little bit last week, but do you know that God just has a natural order sometimes to the world he designed? Do we fully understand it or know why he did it that way? No, I'll be the first to say I don't really understand fully why. But God says, if you give to me the first 10% of your income, the rest of your money will be blessed. It just produces natural blessing. Think about your health for a moment. If you eat fruits and vegetables and you stay super active, what will you produce in your life? Health. It's just the natural order. Did I come up with that? Nope, it's just the way it works. Same is true with our money.